Hello, hello. Today is a special day. Today is the day of yoga, right? International Day of Yoga. As well, yesterday was the solstice. So it's a whole vibe of just yoga, of being, I would say, grounded. And today we're going to have a grounded flow. So I thought that was very fitting to have that flow on the International Day of Yoga, as well as celebrating coming off of the solstice. Now, sometimes those days do actually go together, and then other days, like today, where they're their own special day. And I feel like, hey, you got to have both of those. All right, hello, hate comes with the plate. Happy Saturday. All right, we're going to get started. And where are my intention words? I put things, here they go. All right. So we're going to pick our intention word. And just to give you an idea of what was yesterday, so yesterday's word was responsibility. We have to pick today's word. All right. So we got yesterday's word, which was responsibility. Let's go ahead and pick today's word. Make it special for our day of yoga, right? All right. Let's see what we got. I think I like this one right here. Mm, I think that one's pretty fitting. So I'm going to put these down. So yesterday, responsibility. Today is learn. Maybe you learned that today was International Day of Yoga. So you learned something. Maybe you learned that yesterday was the solstice. Now, the summer solstice and the winter solstice. Summer solstice, it's the longest day of the year, longest day of the year, shortest night of the year. Winter solstice, it's the shortest night, right? And it's the reverse, right? So the day is shorter and the nights are longer. So it's the longest night of the year, right? Where we start to get those long, long nights. And then from there, we start to gain more daylight. All right? So let's go ahead and get into our flow because you didn't come here for a history lesson. You came here to flow. So we're doing a traditional flow today. And I hope that you find some grounding in it. I hope that you allow yourself to get nice and comfortable with it. All right, we're going to have some fun, but we're going to ground. You can have that wall handy as well. Yes, happy Saturday. Yes, yes. Thank you. I see Tamisha. We got my moderator, Twitch. Good morning. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into our flow. I love it. 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 All right, I'm going to come here onto my mat. Get yourself nice and grounded, nice and relaxed. Come to a comfortable seat. It doesn't have to look like this. And just come to your breath. So we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. Just giving yourself that opportunity to be right here in this space. Maybe even thinking about the solstice, the day of yoga, maybe even your yoga journey and the things you've learned along your yoga journey. So let's continue to take that nice deep breath in, getting ourselves ready for our practice. We're going to begin to invite some movement into our body. First, starting with the shoulders, bringing those shoulders up towards the ears if they're not already. And then releasing them down and back. Sitting up nice and tall, bringing shoulders back up and releasing them down and back. Now, this could be a stretch right here. One more time for good measure. And take it down and back. Let's take that right arm over. Stretch it all the way over to the side. Gently take it down. Swap the arms. Other side comes over. And gently take it back. Let's take both arms up overhead. Gaze up towards the hands. We're going to straighten our back. Nice long back here. And on that exhale, we're going to hinge forward. Hinging towards the front of your mat. Release your forearms. Relax your head. We're leading with our chest. Allow the breath to carry you down. Take your chin towards your chest. Tucking your chest in, chin into your chest. Want to look towards the right. And then towards the left. Gently bring it back to center, walking your hands back up towards your body. Let's come to our tabletop position. So tabletop position, and if you have not set your watch, now is a good time to go ahead and do so. I always forget, so I'm going to go ahead and do so now. I know my moderator is probably already let you know. So set your watch if you haven't already. Come into that tabletop position, knees stacking right underneath of your hips, wrists stacking underneath of your shoulders. We're going to start our cow cats. So lower the belly, gaze up, shoulders back. Exhale, arch the spine, chin to chest, press into the fingers. And reverse, I want you to take this at your own pace. Reverse again at your own pace. Remembering to feel that stretch in the shoulders, the neck, the hips. And let's start to make circles with our hips all the way around. And let's pause. Let's go the opposite way with our circles. And we're going to end with our hips towards our heels. Walk your hands out in front. Release your head to the ground. It's all right if your hips doesn't come down or your head doesn't come down. Do what feels good to you. Let the breath release the tension from your body. We're going to gently walk our hands over to the right side of our mat. Side stretch here. And back to center and over to the opposite side. Gently back to center. Gazing towards our hands, let's shift the weight forward, back to table. Tuck your toes. We're getting ready to start our sun salutation flow. Let's shift the weight back towards our heels. Gentle toe stretch here. Give it a rock from side to side. And once you feel ready, we're going to shift the weight forward, lift our knees, come up to our first downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. You may notice that the back of your legs may be a little tight, so let's pedal one knee at a time. And when you feel comfortable, you can shift those knees and shift the heels back towards the back of your mat, bringing those heels to stillness, maintaining a nice gentle bend into your knee. Let's walk the gaze up the legs, tuck your chin into your chest. And begin to walk your hands towards your feet. Belly comes on the thigh, nice generous bend here into our knees. Relax yourself here. You're going to begin to feel the weight come into the balls of your feet. You'll feel the back of your legs start to activate. Hang out here, maybe even grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. Give it a little rock from side to side. Shake your head yes and no. Release your hands down towards the mat. Let's just begin to come up to a standing position, nice and slow. Press into the feet. Head's gonna come up last. Bring those arms up overhead. Gaze up. On that exhale, we bring our hands down. Let's walk towards that first third of our mat. We're gonna get into our sun salutations. You with me? You ready for that? All right, let's press our feet. Bring our gaze down, mountain pose. Inhale, bring those arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. If you like the music, you can rock out. Let's take our flat back. Plant the hand, step it back to a tabletop position for our first one. Now feel free if you'd like to push directly back to downward facing dog, you surely can. We're gonna give it a rock forward. Rock it forward. You can even press your hips down. I'm gonna do a little modified upward facing dog here. We're gonna tuck our toes, shift back, downward facing dog. Now feel free to come to your forward fold, front or back of your mat. However you'd like to do it. Hanging out here in a forward fold. Shift the weight forward. Gently come all the way up. All right, we're going right back into it. Exhale, forward fold. A little gentle bend at the knees, belly on the thigh. Take a flat back. Plant the hands. Let's step it back. Now you can step back to your tabletop, or you can step back to your plank, or downward facing dog. When I say flow, this is how we're going to flow. So if you're here in your plank, we're going to gently begin to bring those heels over the balls of the feet. Gently lower ourselves down, elbows come in. If you'd like to hover for chaturanga, you're more than welcome. Press up for upward facing dog or modify however you like. This is your practice. It's not a perfect. Push back, downward facing dog. Let's gently begin to come to our forward fold, front or back of the mat. Inhale, let's bring it all the way up. Exhale, let's bring those hands to heart center. I want you to take a second and ground here, because I really want you to feel every single posture. Now, we typically, on the solstice, will do 108 sun salutations. We're not going to do 108 on this practice. You're more than welcome to do it in your own time and on another channel. But this one, we're going to do a nice intentional flow. So it may not be 108. It may be 8 good ones. But we're going to make sure that we get those 8 grounded ones. So as you go throughout the posture, I really want you to connect with your mat, all right? So we're going to take that a couple more times. I'm not even going to give you a count. Let's bring our hands down into our mountain pose. And as we're here in our mountain, I want you to look down at your toes. Just notice your toes rooted into the mat. Filling all 4 corners of your feet. Grounded here. Setting that drishti point that's forward. Relaxing your shoulders, slight bend into your knees. On that inhale, let's bring our arms up overhead. Breathe and inhale in, gaze up. Drawing that navel in towards the belly. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Bring your head down. Hands come towards the feet. Feel free to bring the hands behind the ankles. If you'd like to get a little bit deeper into your forward fold, shift the weight into the balls of our feet. Let's come to a flat back. Hands on the mat, hands on shin. Whatever feels comfortable to you. Let's step it back and we flow it out. Again, your flow can be whatever you like. You can stay in your plank pose, whatever position that feels good for you. If you'd like to take chaturanga, let's go ahead and bring it down and hover. And press up. and gently press back to your downward facing dog. Bringing those hands to connect with the earth, lighten our wrist, shifting the weight back towards the heels. Gaze up towards the belly. Let's gently begin to come to our forward fold. Inhale, let's bring those arms up overhead. Going right back into it, exhale, forward fold, that hinge. And take your flat back. Plant your hands, step it back, we flow it out. Now with our sun salutations, we're going to meet in our downward facing dog. So however you'd like to get there with our sun salutations, this is a full, complete body stretch. Stretches all parts of your body. Let's take 2 breaths here in our downward facing dog. Gazing towards the hands, let's come to our forward fold. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose as much as possible. Let's go ahead and bring our arms up overhead, extended mountain. Exhale, we're going right back into it, forward fold. Remember I said this is all about the sun salutations. Flat back, plant the hands, step it back, and we flow it out. Again, you don't have to do the full planks or chaturangas. You can press back to your downward facing dog. That is completely okay. Take a full cycle of breath, gazing up towards your belly. Gaze towards the hands, walk, step, or jump, forward fold. Inhale, let's bring it all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, right back into it. Woo! Who's getting warm? Flat back. Plant the hands, step it back. We flow it out. Gaze towards the hands, walk, step, or jump into your forward fold. Let's go ahead and bend our knees. Let's have a seat in our chair. As we get comfortable here with our chair pose, you got this. You got this. On that exhale, let's forward fold. Plant the hands. Let's step it back and let's flow it out. Again, this is your practice. Chaturangas may be done today. That's okay. We'll meet in our downward facing dog. And as we hang out here in our downward facing dog, we're going to go to our Surya Namaskar B or 2, sun salutations 2. We're going to begin to lift up that right leg. Bring it up. Frame the hands. Hang out here in our lunge. Begin to pivot on that back foot 45 degrees. We're going to come up to a warrior 1. Bend into that front knee. Bringing that knee right over ankle. Open it out. Let's twist open, warrior 2. Nice grounding here. Just remembering foundation. Foundation in the flow. You got this. Bringing that knee right over ankle. Inhale, let's reverse. Feeling, remembering that bend into the knee, feeling that stretch along the side body. And let's windmill our hands down. Let's step it back and we flow it out. We're going to do that same thing on the opposite leg. So lift your opposite leg up. Let's bend it through, arch the spine, framing your hands. Bend into that lunge here. Lift your hips just a little and let's pivot that back foot. Come up for your warrior one on this side. Keeping that bend into the knee. Let's open it out, warrior two. Remember, nice and foundational here. You got this. Keep that bend into the knee. Nice lunge. Readjust your arms or your legs if needed, if it doesn't feel right for your body. Let's reverse the warrior. Bring that back hand down. Front arm comes up. Keep that bend into the knee. Windmill your hands down. Let's step it back and we flow it out. Gaze up towards the belly. Walk, step, or jump. We're going to come back to our chair pose. Having a nice seat in our chair. Shifting that weight to the heels. And on that exhale, bring yourself to stand. Hands come into a prayer pose. Whew. Take a moment to catch your breath. We're going to begin to bring our hips forward here. Maybe even squeezing into the glutes. Bring your hips forward. Nice dristy point here. Forward. You got this. Now, as we are facing forward, I want you to begin to lift that right heel up. So lift that right heel up. Lower it down. Lift the left heel up. Lower down. If it feels good and maybe you have a wall handy, I want you to go ahead and grab the back of your foot. So the top of that foot, go ahead and grab it. And again, you can have a wall handy here. I want you to just grab here and hold. You can always take that arm out, up for balance, whatever feels good for you. You can even have it here at a half prayer. Try to get as nice and lean as you can, where it doesn't feel like you're hanging off to any side, all right? And gently begin to release it. Let it come down, pedal the feet. Gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Opposite sides may vary. Hold on. We're gonna lift that foot and let's hold on to the top of the foot. Again, opposite sides may vary. Pressing that hip forward. Again, you can have your arm out, up, or half prayer here. Readjust your body. If you fall out, come right back. We're grounding here. Bringing that heel towards the glute. So if you see from the side. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and release it down. Nice and relaxed. Pedal the feet. Whew. Can we step our foot out nice and wide as our mat? Let's go ahead and shift from side to side. Let's hang out on one side, then the other side. We're going to begin to turn our toe towards the front of the mat. Shift and spin on the ball of that back foot. We're in our high crescent lunge here. You can bring those arms up. Gaze up towards the hands. Open up your chest. Feel that stretch in our hips and our groin. Bring the hands down. We're going to pivot back. And now we're going to switch to the other side. So pivot that toe towards the back. And we pivot out. Bring those arms up when you're comfortable. Gaze up towards the hands. Get deep into that squat. We're grounding. We're rooting. Gently bring it down and back. Back to the side of your mat. Give it a rock. Bring yourself to stillness. We're going to bring those arms up overhead as we come to a wide leg forward fold. Exhale, hinge forward. Bring your arms into the center. Hands come down. Relax your head. Can rock from side to side if that feels comfortable. Feeling that stretch along the inner thighs, shoulders. Bring it back to center. And if you'd like to try a little bit of hip flexion and hip strength, I'm going to bring those hands to our hips. Gently begin to press up to a standing position. Heel toe your feet back to center. Ooh, and let's come down onto our mat. We're going to have a seat on our mat. Bringing your feet down towards the end of your mat. With room to bring your head down, we're going to hold our knees into our chest. Bring ourselves onto our back. Give it a rock from side to side. We're going to start with our pigeon on our back pose. So bend your knees, feet flat on the mat. Crossing one leg over, wide leg for figure four. Just give it a rock with that knee up and down. You're going to feel this in your hip. You can flex that top toe. And once you feel comfortable, we're going to thread our hand through the center, grab the back of that thigh. Let's bring our knee into our chest. Breathe. Keeping your knee into your chest, we're going to release our hands and let our foot fall over to the side. Look away from your knees. Let that hip release, giving space between your hips and your heels. Really beginning to feel that on the outside of your hips, maybe even that glute. Taking one more full cycle of breath. Let's gently bring it back to our chest. Bring the knee back. Lower the foot down. Uncross the leg. Windshield wiper rock from side to side. Coming back to center, we're going to do the same thing on the opposite foot. So cross that opposite leg, figure four. Let's go ahead and rock the knee up and down. You may notice that opposite sides may vary. So one hip may be a little bit shorter than the other. So that's why we got to do them both. We all have a dominant leg and a non-dominant. All right, let's begin to bring that knee into the chest. I'm going to thread our hand through, hug the back of the thigh, bring it in. Again, you can flex that top toe. Try to center your body. So keeping that knee in towards the chest, let the foot fall over to the opposite side. Look away from your knees. Again, giving yourself that space between the hips and the ribs. Take one more full cycle of breath. And gently begin to bring that knee back to the center. Let's bring the foot down. Uncross your legs. Give it that windshield wiper rock from side to side. Bringing your knees to stillness back to the center, walking your heels towards your glutes. We're going to set up for our bridge pose. Just to reverse all of those forward folds, pressing your toes into the mat, having them track forward. Fingertips can come towards the heels or maybe draw the elbows in. We're going to begin to press into our feet as we lift our hips up towards the ceiling. Relax the head and shoulders. Press your hips up a little bit higher. Maybe see if you can press up just a little bit higher. And on that exhale, release. Let the hips come down, lower back. Give it a rock from side to side. We're going to do that one more time. Walk your heels in, toes track forward. Press into the feet and lift the hips. As you relax the shoulders and unclench the jaw, maybe notice if you can get up a little bit higher. Maybe just a little. And a little bit higher. And on that exhale, let's slowly release it down. Hug your knees into your chest. Give it a rock from side to side. We'll gently let our knees fall over to one side. We're going to look away from our knees. Gently bring the knees back to center and look over to the opposite side. Bring your knees over to the opposite side. Look away from your knees. Relax your shoulders. Gently come back to center. Bring both knees back into the chest. Release one leg long. Let it hover. Crossing that front knee. Windshield wiper that one knee that's in your chest from side to side as we let that other knee hover off the ground. And let's swap it out. Again, that windshield wiper rock from side to side. And let's gently let both legs hover off the ground. You can bring those arms up overhead and gently release the legs and the arms. We're going to take one hand to heart and one hand to belly as we ground and root ourselves here in our mat. Surrendering your toes. Softening your knees and hips. Releasing the tension on the glutes. Bringing our fingers to stillness. Melting our shoulders into the mat. Allow the earth to cradle our head and soften your eyes. I want you to come to a nice, gentle breath, not forcing, just observing. And as we're here, just reflecting on the first half of our year, we're at that midway point. Thinking of all the things that we've learned and done so far. So many reasons to be grateful. As we let that sink in, turning our attention to the second half of this year, of all the things we will continue to learn, see, and do. So much more to be grateful for. So as we let that sink in, we're going to take a few breaths in silence and stillness. And I'm here holding space and let you know when to come back. as we begin to bring that awareness back into our bodies, back into the space around us, wiggling fingers and toes. Bring one knee into your chest as both knees come in towards your chest. Gently cradling your head as we roll over to one comfortable side. Give yourself permission to be still here. Let's begin to use that top hand to gently push ourselves up to a comfortable seat. Any comfortable seat will do. Bringing your hands to heart center with our thumbs to our chest. I want you to thank yourself for showing up for you today. I want you to thank your body for showing up and supporting you in the practice today. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your day. Thank you for spending this International Day of Yoga with me. I want you to celebrate, and I cannot wait to practice with you again. Remember to take this energy with you off the mat and share it with others, because energy is infectious, and we want to share the good stuff. Until next time, namaste. All right. Whew, how was your practice? How did you enjoy it? I hope that you had a great one. We're going to turn up the energy, turn up the flow a little bit. I hope that you enjoyed the practice. Remember, you can always run this back, do it again and again. And I thank you so much for being here. I see we have a lot of people on. Thank you so much for being here. Zen Homes and Books, hello. I hope that you're doing well. Tamisha, thank you. The hate comes with the plate. Michael Washington, hello, I see you. Thank you so much for being here. My moderator, Twitch, if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And then send it to someone who may need to do yoga today, all right? Until next time, peace out.